Alright. Hello, hello. How is everybody doing on this wonderful day? As usual on Thursdays, I am your host,
Very sorry.
And we're
Richie T,
the phone,
also known as Richard T.
out of view.
The important thing is
And
that, I'm
today,
gonna make you better.
we will be playing one of my favorite formats, but a deck that I'm not so familiar with. We're going to be playing Legacy Green-White Death and Taxes. This is a deck I picked up off Twitter from... Let me go ahead and pull up his Twitter for you guys right now. His name is Alexander, Giver of Runes, at Jetpack Blues. Thank you again for this deck. It seemed really sweet. I know you mentioned playing some games against another fellow member of the Basement Stream team, so wanted to give you a shout out right now. And now let's hop back over to the deck, so that way I can give you all of the deck tech of it. So this is basically just a Legacy Death and Taxes deck. But Death and Taxes typically is a mono white deck, but he decided to splash green in it. What's up, Ryan? How you doing? Now, what you get for green is you get some very impactful cards that also let you play this deck a little more tricky and gives you a pseudo Aether Vial 5 and 6. So first let's go over the lands. We are a little bit of a toolbox deck because we have Knight of the Reliquary, so we have a 1 of Gaia's Cradle. We have 2 basic forests and 2 basic plains I just sat out to the side because I couldn't quite fit everything on screen at a reasonable size. That stinks that you're stuck at work, but it's awesome that you get to be here with me at least. On top of that, we have 2 Horizon Canopies to draw cards. We have 2 Caracas to bounce those troublesome legendaries. We have 3 Rishadan Port so we can tap down some lands and try to tax their mana. 4 Savannas for color fixing. 4 Wastelands because it's just the best form of land destruction in Legacy. As well as 3 Windswept Heaths for also more color fixing. Moving on from that, I figured I'd go over the 1-drops and then more of the core of the deck. So we have 3 Mother of Runes, which will try to protect all of our board. Nate's trying to join. Hopefully he gets here. Nate's normally here for most of my streams. Then we have 4 Swords to Plowshares as it's the best removal in Legacy. The life typically matters a lot less than giving your opponents a land wood. We have 4 Noble Hierarchs for ramp, and 4 Aether Vials to try to cheat on mana and also get around those counter spells if possible. Moving on next, we have our threats. We have only 2 Stoneforge Mystics. I know it's pretty usual to see 3 to 4, but this deck isn't as dedicated on Stoneforge as typical Death and Taxes is. We have 3 Thalias because she is a legendary and we can tutor her out. We have 3 Flicker Wisps for Vile shenanigans as well as just being able to blink our value like Stoneforge Mystic, our Recruiter, or any of our other value cards. The tutor I was talking about is Recruiter of the Guard. Lets us search for anything with toughness 2 or less, which is all of the creatures in our deck. We have 2 Knight of the Reliquary, which is just like one of the best threats they've ever printed. It lets you toolbox out lands while also just getting huge. And then we have the new addition from War of the Spark that we're trying out in Vivan, Champion of the Wilds. Now, this is the new 3-mana Planeswalker from the new set. She starts at 4 loyalty. Hey, Nate. Glad to see you. Her static ability is you may cast creature spells as though they had flash. For her +1, until your next turn, up to 1 target creature gains Vigilance and Reach. So this can be big with like Knight of the Reliquary or even like a Thalia since they have First Strike. But then her -2, which I think is the real powerful ability on her, is look at the top 3 cards of your library. exile one of them face down and put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. For as long as it remains exiled, you may look at that card and you may cast it if it's a creature card. So essentially, Vivan is card draw for these like Death and Taxes style of decks, which where it can kind of lack in the past is just not being able to have enough cards in hand and running out of resources. So Vivan might just be the way that you fix that. On top of that, we have some silver bullets over here, one of which is Palace Jailer, which also works as a card draw engine. We also get to exile a creature with it until we are no longer the Monarch. A Sanctum Prelate for shutting off those pesky 1 and 2 drops out of the Delver and Storm decks. This is a spicy one, the Mangara of Corondor, I'm pretty sure is how you pronounce it. You're probably wondering, really like her stat. Vivan static, yeah, being able to play it flash is huge. It's like Aether Vial 5 through 6. So you're probably wondering why we're playing a 3-mana 1/1 that essentially just vindicates a permanent we want, but it also gets rid of itself. Because there's kind of some tricks to it. If we have a Vial and we Vial in a Flicker Wisp and exile it because the colon is after, the semicolon is after the tap, not after the exile Mangara, we will exile their permanent, but also get to keep this once it flickers back. As well as it works really well with Karakas for the same reason. So it essentially can become a Vindicate every other turn. On top of that, we have a 1 of Gaddock Teague for locking out those decks that like to cast bigger spells. A Scavenging Ooze for graveyard decks. A Phyrexian Revoker for naming any troublesome permanents such as Sneak Attack or potentially Planeswalkers. And then we just have 2 artifacts that we can get with Stoneforge and Umezawa's Jitte, because this card is the Slice and Dice in Legacy. So good it's banned in Modern. And then Old Batterskull, because, you know, if it's too good for Modern, it's got to be good in Legacy, correct? Moving on to the sideboard, first I want to go over some of our hate pieces. We have a Grafdigger's Cage to try to stop all those permanents from coming back. We have a Pithing Needle for basically an extra Revoker that costs 1 less. We have a Rest in Peace to try to just hardcore nuke the graveyards. Same with Remorseful Cleric. It's like a one-shot Tormod's Crypt, but it's tutorable with Recruiter of the Guard. Aethersworn Canonist to try to shut down all those troublesome permanents. A Containment Priest, because this is just a stone cold nuts. And I really can't wait for it to be in Modern. As well as 2 chokes to get them pesky blue decks so they can't use their spells. For a little extra removal, we have 2 copies of Council's Judgment. I wouldn't go home without this in your mono white / green white decks. Really, any of your fair Mother of Runes decks, you probably want at least 2 Council's Judgments for the fact that otherwise it's going to be real hard for you to deal with a true name. We have a Knight of Autumn as a tutorable way for artifact and enchantment hate off our recruiters. And then we have a little bit more of a top end. We have a 1 of Karn, Scion of Urza to help grind out the game, draw some extra cards, maybe make a couple bodies here and there. We have a Hakoro Dusk Drinker, which this is a spicy one. It's a 4-mana 2/2 that makes lands not untap during their controller's untap step. And then at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player untaps 1 land. So it's kind of like a pseudo Winter Orb on a body, which is great because we can get it with Recruiter. But because we're an Aether Vial deck, we can get around its claws pretty easily. On top of that, we have a 1 of Cataclysm for being able to blow up most of the board. And then we have a Walking Ballista to pump mana into or just kill pesky Mother of Runes, Thalias, or whatever's really getting into our way. So that's the deck. I'm super excited to play it. But beforehand, let's hop over to our sponsor as we normally do, momsbasementgames.tcgplayerpro.com. Check them out. They're great. Buy all of your singles there. If you're planning on playing Mono Red, you got to get your Chandras or Tybalts. If you're playing that sweet 4-color Dreadhorde deck, you can get Sorin Vengeful Bloodlords or Dreadhorde Invasions. Now, for all you guys watching in the future on YouTube, thank you so much. Check down in that description box below for everything I'm talking about, but you really should join us sometime live on Twitch. check this link out for our Twitch, as well as all you guys watching on Twitch and on YouTube. Make sure to give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, as well as all of you guys watching on Twitch right now. Check out our YouTube page. We have the best Legacy, Modern, Standard, Vintage, Pauper, and Commander content that you can find. On top of that, if you want to do something for me, I would super appreciate it if you gave me a follow on Twitter. My Twitter is @RichardTMTG. I talk about Magic, League of Legends, really anything else I'm feeling. Just hit me up about anything you want. I'll gladly talk about it, as well as it's the best place to know when I'm going live. But alright, you guys have probably heard me talk enough. So how about we hop into some games of Legacy with green, white, death, and taxes. We're going to hop into the queue right now. And while I'm waiting for the queue to pop up, how about I talk about our giveaway we're doing? And the best way to do that is to hop back over to my Twitter, scroll down for a little bit, and you'll see this banner that you also see at the beginning of the stream. So the way that you can win, I will be the one doing the giveaway of the box on the 30th. That is my day of stream. So the way you can enter is everybody who follows Mom's Basement Streams on Twitch gets an entry to win the box of War of the Spark. On top of that, if you would like an extra shot at getting the box, there are two other ways you can earn some extra entries. One way, you can give us a subscribe on Twitch. The other way is you can donate to our Patreon. So if you really want your best shot at getting some new sweet Planeswalkers, make sure to follow, subscribe, and donate. On top of that, well, there's our queue actually. Perfect timing, perfect timing. Let's get ourselves an opponent and get our Legacy on. This hand's great. We got Vials, we got Mom, we got some hate cards, we got a port. It's just everything you want in a D&T hand. We're probably, ooh, the dreaded Island Ponder start from Legacy. Oh, Legacy's great, Demons. This is probably either my favorite or second favorite format. So I think here we're just going to go Plains and we're going to attempt an Aether Vial. Because next turn we can always play the other Vial as well as Mother of Runes. Force Pitch Mission Briefing. That tells me this is probably Miracles. We're A-okay getting our Vial Force since we have a bunch of other things to do anyways. So we drew Batterskull. That's not the most ideal draw, but we're going to live with it. We're going to attempt another Vial. See if we can't bait another counter spell. Shrink my icon. Which icon do you mean? Do you mean like my face cam? So the Vial stuck. Let's see if this Mom sticks. AKA. We're going to go ahead and fetch with this Flooded Strands. I assume we probably have a Swords of Plowshares in our future. Ooh, they're playing the Narset package. Okay, we've been seeing these new Planeswalkers really take a huge impact in Eternal formats. They grabbed a Preordain off it. So we know they have a Preordain in hand. Now we get to go to our turn. Trigger Vial. Nice. That's awesome that you guys get to go home. So we've kind of gotten Vial flooded on this hand. So while I go ahead and try to shrink my image, how about you guys go ahead and tell me... I actually can't do it while I'm live, unfortunately. So that's just something I'll have to make a note of. And I will try to fix for the next time. I apologize. Do you guys think we should go for the Batterskull, or do you think we should go for... Or not the Batterskull. Do you think we should go for the Vial, or should we just try to port them? What do you think is better? Playing the second Vial, or porting down like their white source? Okay. Come on. There we go. Is that better? Yeah, I agree. I think I like the port play. So we're going to go ahead and set a stop in our opponent's upkeep. I don't think we attack with our Mother of Runes because, you know, Mom's a valuable lady. So here we're just going to go ahead and port our opponent's planes. Yeah, I have their graveyard in a window. It's right here. Got a Ponder. So they have a Ponder and a Preordain in hand. There's that Preordain from them. Sorry that the quality's not as good as usual. I'm streaming from my home this week, so... we don't have anything to vial, so I think we just have to go on to our turn. And I think I'm down to tick this vial up to 2, since we have this Gaddock Teague in hand. Ooh. That'll be a good play in a future turn. I actually don't prefer having it like this. I kind of like having it to the side, honestly. Do you think we kill the Narset? Or do we probably just don't care about the Narset, and we'd rather just protect this Gaddock Teague? So I think we're just going to go ahead and pass. And in their upkeep again, we're going to just go ahead and port that white source. Just keep them choked on mana as much as possible. You go ahead and get their Tundra. And play a Mentor. That's a yikes. So I think in response to this, we're going to put in the Gaddock Teague. Yeah, you think you would have played second vial instead of porting them? So here we get to go ahead and roll up this Aether Vial. And we drew ourselves a Savannah. I think I like trying to kill the Mentor right now. Okay. Probably digging for a Force of Will here is my guess. Alright, and that resolves. So now... I think we just go to combat. We're going to attack Narset with Gaddock Teague. And Narset Falls. So now that they have a second white source, do we just go ahead and play this other vial out? Or do you think we just go ahead and port them again? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Play the other vial and pass it along. I think I'm fine with this because I just want the Knight of the Reliquary to resolve. I thought maybe they'd go for Vial or Mother of Runes. Maybe I was supposed to Flicker Wisp there. Put the Knight in so we can start getting value. Would not like to take this one up. I would like to take this one up. Unfortunate. Actually, we can go ahead and play that. And I think I like that. I think I just want to go ahead and get a Horizon Canopy so we can draw a card later. I don't know, because they didn't counter the Knight of the Reliquary, or not the Knight, there's something they didn't counter that I remember, but I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm also trying to not time out since we only have 17 minutes now. Terminus off the top is pretty unfortunate. I think I'm going to use this Flicker Wisp to save the Knight of the Reliquary. Yeah. How's everyone in chat doing today, by the way? I'm doing pretty swell myself. Alright, so I think we're going to leave this one on... They're going to Swords my Knight. Well, that's not nice. Do you think we go ahead and activate Knight here? If so, what do we get? Do we just get another Canopy? Or we could get a Wasteland. And then that lets us keep them off white again. What do you guys think? I think there's just no reason not to activate this. I think we're going to go ahead and just grab this Wasteland. And the Plow resolves. going to go ahead and take this vial up. Don't have anything to do with our mana, unfortunately. Ooh, Revoker's pretty good. Now, this is the only issue we have with this Horizon Canopy. It is a painful source. Ooh, Cradle's not a bad draw. They are down to only 2 cards in hand, though. And I think here we just want to put the Revoker in so we can try to get some damage going. And we're going to name the old Jace the Mind Sculptor. Because that is their best Planeswalker. Opponent's in the tank a little bit. We are pretty behind on clock, though. Wonder what they're thinking about, considering they only have islands. I just have to try to start playing a little bit faster, I think. Make up some clock, but I think we can do it. Maybe our opponent disconnected. Look, it's hard to play faster when I've never played this deck before. I have a little bit of D&T experience in Legacy from when I would borrow it from a friend, but these decks aren't easy to play, especially once you add like the Knight of the Reliquary package and whatnot. Maybe our opponent got an important phone call, or maybe their turkey dinner that they're making is coming out of the oven. What do you guys think? Turkey dinner? I'm betting turkey dinner in the oven. Yeah, I know, right? We were behind on clock, but we're slowly catching up. Maybe that's it. Maybe the Miracles player just wants us to be on an even battlefield of time. Could also potentially be pulling up the stream. If you are pulling up the stream, hello, Shops is Fair 86. Hopefully you will give us a follow for hopping into my chat. Giving me the old ghosty poo. He hasn't said anything since he said interesting. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up right now while we're not doing a whole lot. As well as just tell me how you all are doing on this fine Thursday. Doing pretty good. Got the day off work because I worked Sunday instead because Josh is out of town. I will be heading to Louisville tomorrow if I will be seeing anybody there. Everyone in chat, let me know if I will see any of you in Louisville. Some old Modern action. I've actually, since War of the Spark, I've actually started enjoying Modern again. As crazy as that sounds. I was in a really bad spot with this format, but... Oof. What do you got to go see doctors for? If you don't want to say in Twitch chat, I understand, but... That kind of stinks. It's never a fun way to spend a day is in a doctor's office. Unless they tell you everything's fine, then I'm okay with spending the day in a doctor's office. Maybe our opponent's Twitch had to update, and that's what's taking them so long. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I mean, I don't actually know how bad this deck is. That's why we're trying to find out. I know Aaron got his butt beat by it when he played it, but he was the only person to take a game off the guy. So the guy was doing really well with this deck. And I guess while we're waiting for our opponent to join back, we can hop back over to my Twitter. And I will gladly scroll back up and find where my post went. Here it is. For Jetpack Blues on Twitter, also known as Alexander Giver of Runes. This is the guy who created the deck, so if you also feel free, hop over and give him a follow, as I'm sure he would appreciate that. Oh, he's back. About time, opponent. Glad that you have came back, now that our clocks are just about even. This should be the vial on 3. We'll choose not to take any of our vials up since we already put our 4-drop into play. We drew another land. Alright. Hello, Shops is Life, if you're in chat right now. Alright, so I think we're going to just play this Savannah and pass the old turn back to our opponent. Drawing our card here. Snapcaster Mage. Surprised he didn't go for the old Blockerooski. I think we're just going to go ahead and plow this before he can draw some cards. No. There's no copyright on the Jeopardy theme song. Look at me. I am the theme song now. No, I didn't plow the mom. I plowed the Snapcaster. Why would I plow the mom? I'm the one playing the mom deck. Haha, opponent. Joke's on you. I drew another Flicker Wisp. Nice Swords to Plowshares. Alright. We won that game. So, as usual, I like to just shuffle the whole sideboard in and decide what 15 to pull out. Let's see. What doesn't seem good in this matchup? Cataclysm seems kind of bad in this. Council's Judgment is a maybe. Choke seems really good. Night of Autumn is a maybe. Teague seems good. Scooze seems kind of weak. It only really stops Snapcasters. Same with Rip, Remorseful Cleric. Aethersworn's up for debate. Containment Priest does not seem that great. Cage doesn't seem great. All of our lands seem pretty worthwhile. What do you guys think the other 9 cuts we make are? I'm thinking this Walking Ballista might not make it, even though it's just like a good pump outlet. Karn seems great in this situation. Mangora seems good, even though it might just be a little cute, but it's a lot to do with our mana. Sanctum Prelate seems good. Maybe Night of Autumn's not that great. Jit doesn't seem that good. I think we're just always going to be on the Batterskull plan. Maybe Ether Sworn is kind of cute because they're not really casting many, like, they can just cast a cantrip and then cast something on our turn. 6 more cuts, you say? Council's Judgment just seems so versatile, I don't really want to cut it. Maybe the Knight of Autumn is too cute. The Pithing... Oh, Plow. Well, we've seen Mentor, so I actually want Plow, I think. Maybe we'll just cut, like, the Needle. What are the last 4 cuts? This is probably incorrect, but I know in Modern we normally trim our mana dorks. I guess I can leave 1 in. No, I'd rather have the Revoker, I think. Alright, I have no clue if this is correct, but I think this is what we're going to do. Yeah, this hand seems fine. We got a nice curve. Got some port action again. My opponent's clock and I are pretty even, so... Listen. We got a lot of stream to go. You don't got to use all the plow jokes in the first round. Our opponent mulliganed to 5. You go ahead and cast a Ponder. I'm going to try to get a little F6 value in. We draw another Thalia. So I think we're just going to go Forest and attempt this Aether Vial. Then hit the old F6er. There's not a lot of time where you get to F6 with this deck because of things like Vial and whatnot. So that's why I'm trying to F6 in the beginning, and I'll try to play a little faster from now on. They disenchant it. Let me open up the graveyards. Sorry, they minimized on us. Alright. We drew ourselves a Plow. We're going to go ahead and try to stick a Thalia. And she's good. Get that old F6 value again. Alright, our Thalia's down this time. Now we have a Caracas for her. As DJ Khaled would say, we have another one. Counterbalance? That's rude. I like casting spells. Alright, so I think we're gonna player port. Get in there for 2. Then we're just gonna attempt this Phyrexian Revoker. Disenchant gets revealed. Huh. Well, that's a thing. Then in there, I actually am just not going to do this because I don't want them to be able to plow. Alright, back to us. We're going to start by attacking for 2. grab ourselves a plains and attempt this Knight of the Reliquary. They have a counter spell on top. And they had a force in hand. So that means their only card in hand is this disenchant. But they're going to draw a counter spell. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and port 2 of their sources. Because then if we draw a land, we can just stick this Hakoro. Alright, that's not a land, but it cannot counter this Aether Vial, so. This is where counterbalance is kind of working against our opponent, because it's actually just giving me information. Oh no, that's not what I want to do. Tap this, pay this. Haha. Deal. Now we get to get him with Hakoro. So as long as their top card is not a 4-drop. Nope, it's a Brainstorm. Now they only get to untap 1 land a turn. So do we, but that's fine because we have the pressure in play right now. Play Horizon Canopy for land for turn. Don't think I want to let my opponent just kill my creature if they draw a plow this turn, so we're just going to keep up the Caracas. We're really ahead this game, so. I'm actually just going to go ahead and do this because we can win with our board state pretty easily. The Hakoro looking pretty good this game, honestly. Now whatever land they untap, we just get to tap it down, and that should be game. Alright. Starting off with a pretty good 1-0 win, or 2-0 win over Miracles. The game 2 really shown off why this Hakori is pretty good. I could almost see even like mono white Death and Taxes picking it up with how good it felt. The Knight of the Reliquaries were very reasonable threats, so that's always something to keep in mind when trying to decide if it's better to put a color into your Death and Taxes decks. Yeah, this hand's very reasonable. We have Mom into Stoneforge, potential Noble Hierarch with a Wasteland. Hit our opponent with the GLHF because they hit us with it. We're going to keep. Volcanic Island Pass. Interesting. So since we have this Gaia's Cradle, which can make green, and we're kind of just on course to play a bunch of white stuff, I just kind of want to fetch this Plains and play safely around Wasteland. They very easily could just be, like, I'm assuming Blue-Red Delver is my guess. City of Traders, so Sneak and Show? Okay. Our hand is not that great for Sneak and Show, unfortunately. So let's... I think we just want to get our clock on. So we're going to play Rashad Port. Play Stoneforge Mystic. Grab ourselves a Battered Skull. Then we kind of just hope not to die. Funny enough, if our opponent just show and tells, we can put in Recruiter of the Guard. Yep. And then we can Recruiter for Palace Jailer. And because of Gaia's Cradle, we can just play Palace Jailer on the next turn. Seems like they have a slow hand, so I might actually just go for the Mana Disruption plan now. We can just, like, Wasteland Port for a couple of turns. Okay, maybe not. If they miss their land drop here, yeah, I'm going to definitely just try to strip them off mana. The reason why I'm going for the Volk here is they can't combo at instant speed. And hitting the blue-red source just color, like, makes their only color source be Lotus Petal for, like, their cantrips. Really wishing we would have let on this Noble Hierarch right now, but it'd be like that some days. We will give you an Emerald Cruel. That play was Emerald Cruel, opponent. Sorry. Sorry that you had to hear that one. Notably, I still have the plan of if they just play another Soul Land and Show and Tell, we can Recruiter into... Okay. So now Gaia's Cradle will let us port plus put Battered Skull in. So I kind of like that play. So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 mana. Port their land right now using our green. Then activate Stoneforge Mystic. And put in the Skull. So now we have a clock in play. We're restricting their mana. We have a clock. We have a plan for if they try to do some fishy stuff. 1, 2, 3 would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think we're just playing all of our little dudes out. So that way we'll have more mana. We're going to just attack with the Battered Skull because it's the same amount of damage. Then we get to go ahead and port them again. I actually need to pull up the deck and see if there's anything we can tutor for right now to be aggressive. I don't really think there's anything that like we want to put our guard down for. Ooh. Cracking the Petal to Ponder. That's how you know they're desperate. Depending on how this Ponder goes, I might just go get... They choose to shuffle. If they don't play a land here, I'm probably just going to Recruiter for Thalia. Drawing the wasteland with them missing their land drop was very good. So we can't really plow that land, unfortunately. So I think we're going to go for that play that I was talking about. Because now they're just down to 1 land. And they shuffled off that ponder. And we can always flicker the recruiter if they go to put Emrakul in. Ooh, they had the force. Okay, opponent, okay. That was unfortunate for us. So we port them, and then they get their land. There's not much we can do about that. Four, 5, 6. But notably, if they show and tell, we can just flicker wisp whatever they go to put in. I know the show and tell variants are typically good matchups for the Death and Taxes style decks. So I feel like we locked this game down pretty well with our land destruction, our land disruption plan. All right, so going on to sideboard against the old against the old show and tell, a tale as old as time, some might say. Ballista and Karn seem too slow. Same with Cataclysm, Hokoro. Our tutors seem good. Our council's judgment kill Emrakul, so that seems good. Same with Mangara if we have time. Our chokes seem interesting to me. The Jit does not seem very good here. Revoker. We've seen red, so I assume they're on show and tell. Or sneak attack, so I feel like we want that. Scooz does not seem that great here. Rip does not do much, neither does Remorseful Cleric. Containment Priest is like the stone cold nut against them. Grafdigger's Cage doesn't seem like it does much. And we have 6 more cuts. Man, trimming or sideboarding with this deck seems a lot harder. Do you think we want choke in this matchup? I could see even taking out like the Stoneforge package, because it's kind of mana intensive. And then I could maybe even see like taking out the moms. Oh wait, Plowshares does legit nothing in this matchup. I got there, chat, don't worry. And then mom seems kind of bad, so maybe we like bring this package in as like a fast clock. And then we can bring in like a Mother of Runes. What do you guys think about this? Because Plow does seem atrocious after thinking about it in this matchup. Council's Judgment's great because it kills Emrakul. Because it doesn't target. Flicker Wisp, Mangora have text boxes. Vivian seems kind of weak, but I think it's better than Mom. Just because it can dig us to our answers. So I think we're going to go ahead and try this. How do you guys feel? There will be no plowing this time, unfortunately. We shall be on the draw to start. I see we got some good amount of viewers in chat. How's everybody doing? Feel free to message in chat, and I'll gladly try to interact as much as possible in between games, as well as feel free to give me your opinions on plays. I'm no expert with this deck. I've actually never played this deck before, so all the help I can get would be appreciated. That being said, I think this hand's fine. We don't have many plays on 1 in our deck anymore, but we have Thalia and Gaddock Teague, which are really good against them. And we have our land disruption. So I think we're going to just go ahead and snap this one off. Alright, that was a pretty good draw. So I think we're just going to go Savannah Pass here, with the plan to play a Thalia on turn 2. Alrighty. Brainstorm off the Lotus Petal says their hand is kind of weak in my opinion. Because the shuffle is worth it, but this is a mana source that they won't get back. That means they probably kept a 1-lander again, so our Port and Wasteland might also work if they miss. I do think Thalia is still just the best play no matter what next turn. Gotta go ahead and stretch it out. Alright, what do we got, opponent? Show and tell. Tell and show. We're gonna put Flicker Wisp in to be safe. Unfortunately, it's the old Grizzle Dad. How can we beat La Griselbrand? I think this is like the hardest one for us to beat. But I think our plan is to just hopefully 7, 14... I think our plan is to hopefully just draw enough lands to stop them. Because we can recruit her next turn and then get... Okay. We can recruit her next turn and get the whatchamacallit. So this is just normal sneak and show. This isn't like Omni-Tell or Trinity-Tell, I assume. It could still be Trinity-Tell, actually. That's sneak attack. Do you have the Emrakul opponent? You do. Alright, good game. So yeah, sometimes on the play they can just get you. Like they had turn 2 combo and we didn't have enough disruption for them. That happens. I do think we sideboarded fine. Maybe the Mother should just be a plow in case they do Griselbrand us. That's like a reasonable thing, in my opinion. But I don't think we want many Swords to Plowshares in our deck. What do you guys think about this? Maybe plows are better than Vivians? What do you guys think about that? But I feel like Vivian's pretty close to like Recruiter of the Guard. But it doesn't put it into our hand, so we can't show and tell it in. I am not sure. How does everybody feel? Would love some opinions. The only awkward thing is if you have a swords and they put like an Emrakul or an Omniscience into play. And they can always draw cards in response, so it's not that great, honestly. Judgment's pretty good just because it gets rid of Emrakul or the Omniscience. Choke is good if we can stop them from setting up. But like Choke and Vivian I could buy being way too slow in this matchup. And it just being better to have Plows, that way if they do just put a Gristlebrand in. What's your guys' stance? Could also see Vile being kind of slow. We don't have that many 1-drops anymore. But Vile Flicker Wisp can be real tricksy. I think we're just going to run this back. This matchup is one I'm not 100% sure how I'm supposed to sideboard. I do think this hand's fine, though. We have an early Pithing Needle for Gristlebrand. And we have a turn 1 Aether Vial. Actually, I think we're going to just turn 1 Pithing Needle Gristlebrand. Because this Vial isn't going to do a whole lot for us. To where this Pithing Needle is. And I kind of want to play Aethersworn Canonist or Stoneforge Mystic next turn. Depending on if I think I just need a faster clock or more disruption. It'll probably just be Canonist, though. We're facing some form of Sneak and Show. I'm not sure if it's Sneak and Show or Trinity Tell, but I do know that they have Sneak Attack in their deck. And we're in game 3 because they kind of just yeeted last game. So I think we're going to just go for the Aethersworn Canonist here. Hopefully they don't just have it and kill us, but I think we just have to try to disrupt them. This wasn't a great 7. I could also see someone telling me that this hand's supposed to be a mulligan. Interesting. Impulse. Especially sacking the pedal. Impulse is an interesting inclusion, considering that they're playing the Sneak Attack package. Typically only really see that in the mono blue variants. Alright. Here I think we're just going to start with an attack for 2. Play this Windswept Heath and crack it. Grab another Savannah. Play an Aether Vial, then a Stoneforge Mystic. And grab ourselves the Skull. I would love to use Stoneforge's ability to get a Batter Skull. You know, that interaction is just so powerful. I don't know how anybody could beat that in Modern, you know? Like, I'm sure that there's no decks that can kill you turn 1 or 2 in Modern, right? Especially nothing with cards from the new set. That is, in fact, a sneaky attack opponent. Sneak Attack, I think, is much harder for us to deal with than Show and Tell as well. Yep, that's an Emrakul. Yeah, our opponents had very good draws. Vivian right on time. I kept the Ether Sworn because if they don't have the creature, it only lets them dig with one spell. Most likely we're just dead here, unfortunately, though. No, really. And no cantrip. That's interesting. So now we're in the race to see if they can draw a creature before we kill them. We can also only use these canopies once. So the question is it worth it? I don't actually think it is. I think I'd rather draw a card and hopefully find some painless lands. Okay. Okay, that worked out. Got our opponent down to 9. Wonder what's in their hand. Maybe it's just like a bunch of counter spells. Ooh, that's a good one. So we'll start with the attack for 2. Try to bait something out. Then we will play Gaia's Cradle and attempt Phyrexian Revoker. Okay, they had the Force. So they're down to 3 cards in hand, but they are dead in 3 attacks. So we're still in a race against the clock. Looks like they drew that city for turn, I'm guessing. We'll probably go ahead and play Vivian this next turn. And roll her down. Another sneak attack, okay. Ooh. Port does not do a lot here. But I think we're still going to play it. Attempt this Vivian. Notably, if we had Swords of Plowshares in our deck right now, it'd be really good if they draw Gristlebrand. We're going to tick Vivian down. We really just want some more hate. Well, the only thing we can cast off this is Mangara, so I guess we'll take it. We're going to shrink this zone really quick. And get in there for 2. Just like we've been doing this whole time. Uh-oh. That's not good for us. Really needed them to keep bricking on cantrips. Did they find it? It doesn't look like it. Man, if only we had another white source. Oh, we have this canopy, actually. Okay. So we attack them for 2. Put them to 1. We can go ahead and port and still have 3 mana. So I'm actually going to port one of their red sources this turn. Alright, this is it. I think we covered our bases by drawing this Flicker Wisp, so I think we might have pulled this one out. They had a lot of turns, but they bricked off, so Our opponents on You Are Sneak, you said? Yeah, I know that they're on some form of Sneak and Show. But I don't know if they're on normal Sneak and Show or if they're on the Trinity Tell deck. Hit them with the GGs. They bricked off pretty hard, but for us, that means we're currently 2-0. Moving on into the third round. Again, I think that's kind of a good matchup for us. We have a lot of disruption. So while we're waiting for this queue to pop, I just want to say thank you all for watching. Feel free to interact in chat. I always appreciate it. As well as, while I hop on over once again to my Twitter, make sure you check out and give the old follow to @JetpackBlues, Alexander Giver of Runes, the creator of this deck. I literally just snagged the list from him. I'm actually from Monroe, Michigan. But also, check out my Twitter. That's @RichardTMTG, where I can also show you this sweet image we have for our giveaway. I am going to be giving away for the Mom's Basement team a box of War of the Spark. That'll be done on May 30th. If you're interested, the way you can earn chances at that box is by everybody who follows the Mom's Basement Streams Twitch will get an entry into the giveaway for the War of the Spark box. On top of that, if you would like some extra entries, there are 2 ways to earn extra entries. One is give us a subscribe on Twitch, and the other is to donate to our Patreon. So if you would like extra chances at this box of War of the Spark, make sure you can do those 3 things. Follow for a guaranteed entry, as well as if you want 2 extra entries, you can earn them by subscribing to our Twitch and donating to our Patreon. Yeah, you're just chilling around Monroe, cruising down the street in your 6'4". Oh no, I didn't see the Q pop. Whoopsie daisies. Yes, if you are already followed, you are still automatically entered. So you just gotta be a follower, man. As well as if you enjoy the content that we create, feel free to hit that bell icon. That way you always get the best notifications for when we go live. I know a lot of people were saying that they have issues knowing when that they see that we make a post on Facebook or something and we've already gone offline. Well, if you hit that bell icon, that wouldn't be an issue. Alright, our opponent won the die roll. We're finally back into a game. Partially my fault. We have 2 lands with Thalia, some disruption. We have a swords. I'm in. It's not like a top tier hand, but it's not one of the ones you shit back. Verdant Catacombs Pat Crackit by JJKBB 2005. And they play Heritage Druid, so we're against Elves. That name almost sounds like a radio station, doesn't it, guys? We draw another land, which is pretty good for the Sanctum Prelate. Unfortunately, they don't have many non-land permanents, or non-creature permanents, so we're probably just going to end up naming a number like 4 to shut off like Natural Order. So I'm going to let them play their Elves before I plow this, because I don't want to influence their plays. But more than likely, this Elf is going to die. Okay, they have another one. And they appear to not have another Elf. So, I think we're still just going to go ahead and plow. We just want to conserve our life totals as well as keep them off mana. So we're going to draw for turn. We drew another Vivian. I think we're going to just play this Windswept and crack it. Grab ourselves a Savannah. And play our Skells, the old Scavenge and Ooze. Get oozy with it. Our opponent cracks their Verdant Catacombs end of turn and fetches a Dryad Arbor. That old sneaky Dryad Arbor can't get me on Moto. It's got to be in the creature slot. Alright. They got a Birch Lore Rangers here and a Cradle. This is scary. This means they're Chaos Elves. That means they typically, I believe, if someone can correct me on chat, I'm pretty sure Chaos Elves doesn't even play Natural Order, correct? Wow, they hit really well. Green Sun for 1. They only hit 2 creatures. They went and got a Wirewood so they can start returning their elves to hand. Make a buttload of mana. Elves is one of the harder matchups I feel for our deck. Bug Depths? I assume it has a pretty decent Depths match, but it has a lot of land disruption in it. Trying to figure out what I play here. What do you guys think? Do we go for Thalia or Vivian? Do we go for Thalia, Vivian, or Sanctum Prelate? I'm kind of leaning towards Vivian to try to dig for some more action. Because then if they want to go ahead and just attack our Vivian, that's fine. We still get the creature out of it, and we have another one. Well, Thalia was not the best hit there. And I would have enjoyed having that Swords of Plowshares, but them's the beats sometimes. Man, Priest makes so much mana. Yep, there's another Sylvan Ranger. They're playing Beast Whisperer. Jeez. This deck seems even harder because again, they don't typically play the Natural Order package. They're just like a go wide elf deck. That's why you see like the Messengers and the Beast Whisperer, the Priest, so they can make a bunch of mana and basically draw their whole entire deck. I don't even think they play Crater Hoof, actually. This matchup just seems super rough for us. Our opponent's just going crazy. Drawing all the cards and playing all the elves. Elves is a really good deck in Legacy, I feel, right now in the current meta. My friend Brandon's actually working on building it. He's building the traditional Natural Order version. I'm not... What do you guys... Which version of Elves do you think is better in the current meta? Do you think Chaos Elves is better, or do you think the Natural Order, Crater Hoof, just like traditional old elf build is the one that you should be playing? Brandon's garbage? That's not very nice. So yeah, I feel like our opponent's probably just gonna like play pretty much their whole entire deck here. And we're just here to sit along for the ride. Their priest just made like 15 mana. That's pretty sweet. Oh, is this just the Crater Hoof? Are they lame? Whoa! Finale of Devastation? That's sweet. Alright, we're dead as crap. That's pretty cool. That elf list seems lit. Alright, Karn and Hakora don't seem good. Cataclysm seems great. Council's Judgment and our removal seems fine. Choke obviously isn't good. Jit's great. Revoker seems good as it can stop the dude. Gaddock Teague stops the finale, so that's worthwhile. Thalias don't seem great in this matchup. Neither does Rip or Remorseful Cleric. Aethersworn Canonist actually doesn't seem awful. Pithing Needle, I don't think... Actually, we can Pithing Needle... And this actually doesn't seem bad. So we got 6 more cuts to make. As sad as it is to do, I think we gotta cut Vivian in this matchup. She just seems way too slow. On top of that, the Sanctum Prelate does not seem that good. Then we got 3 more cuts. I think it might just be the Flicker Wisps. Since they don't really have anything we want to flicker much. Yeah, I got there to the Prelate. Thank you though, Demoness. Thank you, Demons. Trying to figure out if there's anything we want to put Flicker Wisp back in for. But I don't think so. We're just kind of like a bucket of disruption at this point. Even though some of our disruption isn't that great. But again, I think Elves is a pretty tough matchup for us in general. Alright, we're going to go ahead and be on the play. What do you guys think of this hand? Pithing Needle is not the best. We'll probably just name like Wirewood Symbiote or something. I think we're going to ship this one back. What do you guys think? Would you keep or mull this hand? What would chat do? Where does chat come from? Where does chat go? Where does chat come from, Cotton-Eyed Joe? I agree with the mulligan. Yikes. This hand is not great either, but I don't know if we want to go to 5. We can Wasteland, Vile, and then Noble. If we draw a land, we could Ballista or Revoker as well. I don't think we go to 5 on this hand, right? I think we keep this one. As unfortunate as it is. What do you think, Demon? YOLO? I agree. We're going to put that one to the bottom. We're going to play the classic Wasteland, Aether Vial, go against Elves. Because that is exactly what you want to be doing against Elves. Especially in Elves that kept a 7 and let on an Elf. What a surprise. Okay. So we can Vial in our Noble. Play our Gaia's Cradle. Then we can just Phyrexian Revoker Elvish Mystic. Alright. They got the Cavern of Souls to name elves. And there's a priest. Well, that's going to get Ballista down real quick. I will gladly take that one. Our Vial is going to tick up to 2. It's a good blocker. Probably shouldn't be in the deck, but, you know, I overlooked it. Get to play a Ballista for 2 because of this Cradle. Shoot down this Priest. And attack for 3. I think we're going to just Vial in this Gaddock Teeg in the upkeep. That way we can stop their Green Sun Zeniths and whatnot. What you got for me, opponent? Reclamation Sage? That's rude. I liked my Walking Ballista. What did it ever do to you? I think we're going to just go ahead and take this Vial out. We're going to go ahead and pump up this Knight. Attack for 3. I think it was a mistake to put it in right there, but I had already activated the Vial, so it was a little late. Wasteland one of their caverns. Just again, try to disrupt their mana. Make them play as few spells a turn as possible. Uh-oh. They got the Priest again, and they got rid of our Walking Ballista. Grab a Savannah. We will not take up Vial this time. That's not bad. If they go for a... Well, they can't go for... Green Sun Zenith or... Finale because of Teeg. But it's still just a flashy 2/2. Maybe Dryad Arbor was a reason to hold the Wasteland, actually. Okay. You got yourself a Beast Whisperer, opponent. Yikes. They're about to make a lot of mana. Again, I think this matchup is very tough. I think if our Ballista would have lived, we probably could have had a better chance, or we would have had more of a chance. Not that we're out of this game yet or anything, but it's going to be tough because now they have their engine online. Ooh, that was a decent draw. Let's start by attacking. See what they do. They just block with the Elvish Mystic. So I think we gotta cast the plow here. Do you think we're plowing the priest or are we plowing the Beast Whisperer? What do we care more about? Do we care about their mana or their cards? I think the answer is mana. The thing is if we plow the priest, they only have 4 mana. To where they have 4 cards in hand with the priest. Like, they go up to a 5th card. But they just have 1,000,000 mana. Yeah. I guess I'm going to listen to you guys and plow the Beast Whisperer. But I'm not 100% sure I agree with this play. Because if they play another one, we're just still in a bad spot. Hit that old F6 button. Okay. So this is going to work out pretty well considering they didn't have anything. Stoneforge is a solid draw. We can actually play and equip Jit this turn. So Stoneforge is actually just a nutty draw. That might have actually been the best draw in our deck. The more I'm thinking about it. Oh yeah, they get to just bounce it with Quirion Ranger. That's fine. That means they have to do it each and every turn. Alright, and they conceded that game. So we took that game on the back of really just drawing a lot of interaction for them. Kind of the reason why I think the Ballista is good. I think that was probably a good call to plow the Beast Whisperer. I was just worried that they'd just play another one and still have like 1,000,000 mana. But I think you're correct. I think we're supposed to just worry about the threat, not the mana. That being said, do you guys think we want to change anything, or do you think we run it back? I don't know about this Night of Autumn, but like I don't think we have anything in our sideboard that's better than it. Like, as you've seen that game, it can just be a beater, which isn't bad. Sometimes you just gotta get them beats in. Them Bears beats in Battlestar Galacticas. Any opinions on changing anything, chat? Or do you guys feel like we just run it right back? Hope our opponent doesn't have a great hand on the play. Yeah, I think we're going to just submit again. Submit and hope that we can just get there. What do you guys think? Keep or mole? We have turn 1 vial. We have a needle or a mom also. Hard keep, you think? Alright. We'll give it a try. We will play the cards, as they say. Go for that hashtag big dick energy. No play on 1 from the elf deck. Well, that's a good sign. Okay. What do you guys think we needle here? Because I think we play it, because there's no reason not to. Oh, we can't. Pithing Needle doesn't stop mana abilities. So we're actually going to pull this up and... because I can't think of the elf's name. I think we're going to name Wirewood Symbiote. I'd rather not let them be able to bounce elves. Right, that was Querying that does that? Oh, no. Wait. Yeah. So Wirewood was the correct name, because it's the one that lets you return elves to your hand. Yep, that's a Beast Whisperer. Hopefully we draw a land and we can just get rid of it. We can put that thing back where it came from. Oh god, they have another Gaia's Cradle. Their hand was so good. Chat, how do we win? Their hand was so good. Haha. Oh, that's just whenever you cast a creature? Man, that card's good. I thought it was elf. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. Probably because the only place I see it is played in is elves. Alright, Daddy needs a land. That's not close enough to a land. I guess we're just gonna pass. Yeah, I knew it was basically Glimpse of Nature. For some reason I was thinking it was just elves though, because literally the only place the card sees play is in elf decks. Pop everything back out. They only drew 1 card on it, fortunately. That wasn't that great of one. This Cataclysm, though, will be a good one. We decided against combat, which seems like a fair thing to do. Drew another Mother of Runes. That, unfortunately, does not make the cut of a land for Cataclysm. So I think we're just gonna Council's Judgment down this Beast Whisperer. And hope to just not die. Again, this is a tough matchup, but we're doing what we can. I'm trying my best for you, chat. Maybe, if enough people are interested, I'll play Elves in the future. I'll give that deck a run. I know Brandon's been asking me to play Elves for him, so... it's a consideration. They choose not to attack. Okay. Maybe we won't quite have to Cataclysm then, because we can just put enough blockers into play. We're going to go ahead and roll this vial up to 4. That's a good one. I would love to use Palace Jailer. And I think we just exile... because I'm going to plow the Priest. So I think we just want to exile this... Nettle Sentinel. And then if they want to get the Sentinel back, they'll have to use quite a few resources. Hey, I mean, Gristlebrand into play on turn 1. Pretty decent. So if they want to lose a lot of their board, they can attack with everything to get their Nettle Sentinel back, and that's what they're choosing to do. I think I would rather have these Mother of Runes in play than killing one of their elves. So I think we're just going to block like this. Then we're going to activate Mom on herself. Choose green. They become the Monarch. They get that back. But we also get to attack them now. So a little bit of cat and mouse going on here. We will not be ticking Vial up right now. We're going to go ahead and play another Mother of Runes. And then we can give this pro-green. They attack with all. We get to block. We can block everything still. There's no reason not to play out this Vial. Crap. Hopefully I get... okay, yeah, I get priority because of Noble. I almost punted. I want the Monarchy back, that way I can keep drawing cards. Figured they'd grab a Dryad Arbor there. So there's our 4th land in case we ever need to panic button. Ah, they drew the Dryad Arbors. They realize they don't have any good attacks, so they just pass it on back to us. Which vial is this? It's the one on 4. We will not take this one up. We will take this one up, though. Ooh. What can we recruit her for? I think we're going to recruit her for 1, 2, 3. I think we're going to just recruit her for Knight of the Reliquary. That way we can get our Gaia's Cradle. I don't think we have enough mana right now for Ballista. That's why I want to get Knight, so we can just like keep getting more mana. Is it fine to attack to clock them? I think so, because we have so many Mother of Runes. Let's see, we block, block, give protection if we attack. We can block, but we can't, actually. So I think we're going to just actually sit back for at least a turn. We got the Monarchy going on, so we're in a pretty decent spot. We have this Cataclysm if we ever need it. Another recruiter. I think we're going to just go ahead and play the Knight, though. We can put this other vial into play. If we attack, we can block. Okay. So I think we can attack this time. Give it protection from green. The next turn we can recruit her, grab Gaia's Cradle, and play a big-ass Ballista. Yeah, next turn we just recruit her Ballista and win. Alright, and we're 3-0. We beat Elves, which I think is probably one of our harder matchups. This deck has been feeling really good. The green definitely feels good. The Vivans are still up in the air, in my opinion, for how great they are. We got to keep on keeping on to see. But we've at least made our money back this league, and this deck's felt pretty impressive. I've always been a fan of like the Death and Taxes style of decks, and the green actually feels like it gives a lot of utility. We're facing the daddy. Not daddy, but the daddy. That means I'm probably going to get Gristlebrand because Gristlebrand is also known as Gristle Dad. This hand's not great, but we have a Vial, so I'm kind of leaning on keeping it. What's your guys' stance on the turn 1 Vial hands with only 1 land? Do you think we go ahead and keep this? What do y'all think? Yeah, I agree. We have a lot of plows, so we can just keep on plowing our opponent while our vial's ticking up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. We're gonna get dredged on. Them stinky, stinky dredge players, am I right? Coming into my house. Unfortunately, we don't really got anything good for them. Oh yeah, opponent, you're gonna make the whole entire place stink with all this dredging. Hey, all I'm saying, nobody likes dredge players. Oh yeah, this game is getting over with. They got one bridge. They got 3 bridges. Oh, we're so dead. We're going to just concede the game because we are not winning that one. Mike, I love you. I just don't love that you play dredge. Alrighty. Ballista does not seem... Ballista's actually pretty cool against bridge from below. Karn and Hakoro do not seem good in this. Neither does Cataclysm. Council's Judgment's a maybe. Chokes and Vivian's just seem way too slow. I don't know. I told you to play Dredge. Dredge is great in Legacy. This deck is nutty. Morseful Cleric seems good. This Ether Sworn seems kind of slow. Actually, Needle can name Cephalid Coliseum. And we got 6 more cuts to make. Jailer's probably just too slow. I don't think Flicker Wisp actually does enough in this matchup. You know what I really want in this deck, actually? I'd really like a 1 of Bajuka Bog as just a colorless land, but a Graveyard Hate we can get off Knight of the Reliquary. I think that could go pretty far in either the main or sideboard. And then these Council's Judgments probably aren't that great either. Plow can at least hit an Icarid where they can't. Yeah, I think we're going to just run it like this and hope that we don't get dredged on again. What do you think, chat? The old 6-land jitters hand. We're going to mulligan. Sylvan Tutor is like $80 because it's Portal, isn't it? We have so much hate in our deck, but do we want to mulligan to 5 when they kept 7? What do you guys think? Especially you, Mike, since you're a dredge player. Do you think I just have to mulligan to more hate, or do you think this hand's fine? We can always play the Prelate on 2. Yeah. I think we just got a mulligan again. Do we go to 4, or do we rely on the Swords to Plowshares? So you think I probably have to mulligan again then? Alright. Well, I'll mulligan again then. Try to find some hate. Do we go to 3 or do we really lean on this sword as the plowshares? Yeah. I agree. I think 3 is probably going to be too weak. I mean, I think 4 is probably... This 4 is probably too weak also, but... I don't think we're really finding much of a better 3. Oh, putrid again. Oh boy, here I go putriding again. Got him. How can they beat Mother of Runes? Our opponent is going the distance. They're going for speed. They're all alone in their time of need. They're racing and chasing and plotting the course. It's not looking so hot for us. I actively think we're blocking to get rid of this bridge from below. As bad as it feels. We're so dead. I don't think it was a punt. I mean, we don't want them having bridge from below. Yeah, I mean, we're not winning this matchup. I don't know. I think the block was fine, but maybe not. I really don't think it mattered what we did there, though. Like, we didn't have Graveyard Hate, and this is Legacy, so we died. The thing is like, what is the Knight of the Reliquary doing when they just keep getting back Icarids? But we're 3-1 going into our last round, so let's see how this goes. Maybe we can get that cheeky 4-1 again. Hand seems fine. Turn 1 Mom. Turn 2 Thalia or Phyrexian Revoker with a couple 3-drops if we draw some lands. Can't complain. Since we drew this Horizon Canopy, and we don't really need double green, correct? Yeah, we don't need double green. I'm just going to get a Plains here to play around Wasteland. We're going to play everybody's favorite Mom. I sure hope it's not Reanimator. Although Reanimator is a better matchup than Dredge, I think. Looks like Grixis control, maybe Grixis or some form of Delver. Could also be Storm. Liliana's Triumph, okay. So, probably Grixis control. Port's not a bad draw here. I think we're just going to play Port, play Thalia, and then pass. Could also be some form of blue-black control, like the Fairies deck. They force it. And play a Narset. Well, we can Phyrexian Revoker that next turn. But they did get one use out of it. I think I just want to advance our game plan more than disrupt theirs at this current point. Name Narset Parter of Veils. No more veils shall be parted, I say. You only get half of your dig through time. Next turn we can keep them off blue or black mana, whichever color we prefer. Probably an odd Inquisition. I feel like Mangara is probably the correct take here, but I could see it being Flicker Wisp also. They choose the Wisp. Opponent's trying to craft out their next play. It's a brainstorm, you say. It's a brainstorm, it's a brainstorm. Gotta think of some ideas. The old fatal push. Found themselves a Kolaghan's Command. Meanwhile, we're probably just going to kill this Narset, Wasteland, and then potentially port them off something. Not sure what color we're going to go after yet. What do you think we go after? Do we go after blue or do we go after black mana? I think I like going after blue mana. They are Grixis control, by the way. We know these are their only two cards in hand. So tapping it down means they can't cast either currently. Unless they fetch for the preordain. They just drew another land, which is pretty good for them. So now we have the choice, depending on what we draw. If we draw a land, we're probably just going to play Mangara. Well, no, we probably want to wait till we draw a Karakas. Hymn to Turok is pretty good when I have two cards in hand. Vial's not the worst draw here. So we can attack for one. Then we're just going to port down their red source. So they either have to Kolaghan's Command now, or they just don't get to do it. I probably see a Kill My Noble, Shatter My Vial right now, if I have to guess. Yep, that's exactly what happened. So now we're just in a top deck war. Gaddock Teague, not bad. Stops them from playing something like Jace the Mind Sculptor. Also stops their Force of Wills. They drew a Preordain. Their draws are probably slightly better than ours on average because of cantrips, but, you know, we have a lot of powerful cards in our deck as well. Snapcaster to push. Pretty good, opponent. Stoneforge Mystic. That card's also pretty good. Get to go ahead and get ourselves the old Batter Skull. And hope our Stoneforge lives. Strix. Baleful Strix kind of makes me wish I got Jitte, but it didn't matter. They had the him anyways. I think we're just going to take it this turn at least. Thalia's not a bad draw. Gums up this Snapcaster Mage at the very least. We're going to get in there because I would love to trade with the Baleful Strix. My clock versus theirs. They decide to trade. Alright. My Thalia checks the Snapcaster pretty well currently. Ooh, and Vivian off the top rope. Now this is a situation where Vivian can shine. Oh no! Vivian can't shine. We have a Thalia in play. I'm dumb. Our opponent's probably really confused as to what I just tried to cast. So I guess we're going to just go ahead and port one of their red sources. Oh, they had the him too. Alright. We need to try it again, they say. I did tap a black. The Badlands makes black mana. Uh-oh. No, you're fine. Alright, we need a land to compete. There it is. Alright, Vivian, I need you to do some heavy lifting because they're brainstorming. We're going to go ahead and minus and try to find ourselves something good. We found 0 creatures off that Vivian minus. Woof. That was not bueno. So now our Vivian dies. Didn't even really draw a card off her. And there's the big fish. I think this game kind of slipped out from under us, unfortunately. Really needed to be able to play the Vivian before they played the Jace. But we tried our best, and that's what matters. They're brainstorming right now. They found the lightning bolt for Thalia, and we're pretty much dead. Plow technically keeps us alive. As long as their last card in hand isn't Hardcast Force of Will. Alright. We're still playing Magic, as the kids say. Interesting choice. I think that was a misplay. Like, if they just force our plow there, they win the game. We're only at 6. But I suppose if they would like to waste time on their own clock, they can feel free to do so. Okay. We're gonna get them, chat. Pretty sure this one's lost, unfortunately. But we still get a game 2 and potentially 3. To hopefully disrupt their game plans. Oh, they'll Snapcaster Lightning Bolt to win the game. Touche, opponent. Touche. Alrighty, so we're going to sideboard for game 2 here. Let's see. Against Control, Cataclysm doesn't seem good. Council's Judgment does. Choke does. Sanctum Prelate does. Night of Autumn does not. I actually like Jit because of Baleful Strix. Gaddock Teague does not seem that great. Actually, it stops Jace, so it's probably not that bad. Rip stops Gurmag Angler, which is relevant. I don't like the Aethersworn Canonist in this matchup, or the Containment Priest. I don't like the Grafdigger's Cage because it's only stopping Snapcaster. What do you guys think our other 9 cuts are? Maybe the Gaddock Teague dies too easily. Maybe we just have enough things that we don't need the Rip. I like Ballista against Jace, but maybe it's not worth it. Maybe these ways to stop. Maybe the needle is too cute. What are our last cuts? Scoos doesn't seem great. I'm still streaming.
That's okay.
What's up?
Are you going anywhere tonight then, or are you going to be home?
I assume I'll be home, but I don't know why.
Okay, if it changes, let me know. Grandma's probably going to bring Kirsten home around 8 before she goes to babysit Ronnie and them.
Okay.
Okay?
Alright.
I love you. Have a good day.
Love you. Sorry about that. I guess we'll take out plows. Not really sure what our last cut should be there. Sand's fine. Lead on Savannah Pass. They had the Inquisition. Unfortunate for us. Would have really liked to play that Stone Forge on too. Interesting. It means they must have a way to deal with it, but don't have a way to deal with Sanctum Prelate. Not really sure. Grab Batter Skull and pass. Maybe their only removal is 1 mana then. Pass it on back to them now. Hopefully, we'll stumble them on colors or mana. So I know for most of the time in Legacy it's not correct to fetch to thin, but I actually think in decks like this where we don't really have anything that our fetch lands matter for, I think it's actually just fine to. Because we just want to draw more, we just want to have like the small percentage average of drawing a better card. Alright, so if they don't kill our Noble, we get to attempt Batter Skull next turn. They do kill our Noble, though. Unfortunate. Grab another Savannah. Mother of Runes, not a bad draw. Can protect our little Jeremy boy in case they try to kill him if Batter Skull resolves next turn. We're keeping up pretty well this game with their resources. Until that happened. We were keeping up with their resources until the Fire Nation came. Okay, no counter spells, good for us here. So we have the old skull. Hopefully they don't just have like Kolagon's command or something like that here. Brainstorm, so they're probably digging for it. Opponent seems to be in the tank pretty hard. Snapcaster for Fatal Push on our Germ token. Makes me sad. I just wanted my little Germ friend. 1, 2, 3. So I think we're gonna just Caracas. Actually, I should have just played Horizon Canopy there. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking. I could have just cracked it. Baleful Strix. The strictest of the bales. Well, there's Narset. Doing her best dig through time impression. Finds Biforce. It's an interesting one. Gotta take the 2 from Snapcaster, unfortunately. We're gonna attempt to return Batterskull to our hand. I'm gonna tick the old vial up like usual. Yeah, not playing that Horizon Canopy last turn was definitely a mistake. I was just thinking, like, if they play a legendary, it'd be nice to have the Caracas. Not that they typically play any legendary creatures in that deck. Pretty sure we're just buried this game, unfortunately. I know this is typically a pretty good matchup for Grixis control. To where the Delver decks are actually, I think, at a disadvantage against the Death and Taxes style decks. Sack this to hopefully draw something good. Strew another vial. Well, Flicker Wisp will buy us a turn if we get to resolve it. Will buy us some time against this Liliana. Play Canopy and another Aether Vial. Pass the old turn back. So at this point, we're just trying to buy as much time as we can so I can hopefully get as many draws as possible at some type of out. Gotta take this 3. Interesting enough, they still have this Kolaghan's command. I guess it makes sense to just hold on to the K command and just plus the Lily on it. Kolaghan's command can kill something with a little higher toughness. Sack this Canopy to draw. Just drew another land, unfortunately. Here's the K command. It's actually pretty good that we drew a land if they were going to fire that off there. Mangara's not bad with this Caracas in play. Actually, it is. It just keeps getting eaten by the Liliana. If one of our vials ever stayed, we could have potentially gotten the Mangara trick. But alas. We're probably just going to get beaten down for 3 forever. Alright. On the list of good draws, that was definitely one of them. Jeez. And their deck is just a pile of removal, so not surprised to see how many they have. The clock is slowly starting to close with the Snapcaster and Baleful Strix combo. Got him. They'll never see it coming. How do they win? I'm choking them out. How do they win, chat? Alright, I don't really know what we can draw here, but let's draw it. Oh, we're actually just dead. GG's opponent. Tough matchup. So, we managed to 3-2, which isn't bad. Vivian seems interesting. I definitely like adding the green to Death and Taxes. I do think it gives you a lot of play. But this was a lot of fun. This deck was cool. Once again, I would like to hop on over to Twitter to make sure to let you guys know to give a shout out to @JetpackBlues on Twitter, also known as Alexander Giver of Runes, as he was the creator of this deck, and I just played his list. After playing his list, though, the only change I really want a... We did not 4-1. We 3-2'd. We lost our last 2 rounds to... What was round 4? I'm drawing a blank on round 4 right now. That's funny. We lost to Dredge. We lost to Dredge and Grixis Control. Both really tough matchups, I think. The only change I think I definitely would want somewhere is I want a Bajuka Bog somewhere. So our Knight of the Reliquary can also be... What did I say? Did I not say Grixis? Nah, you're a good Steve. I would want a Bajuka Bog somewhere in the 75. Okay. I was trying to think of the other deck. Maybe... Maybe we could just, like, trim a Fetchland or a Savannah, because the mana's not that intense in this deck. Or even potentially just a Horizon Canopy to fit a Bajuka Bog in. other than that, the deck felt pretty good. I never got to really feel Karn to see how he is. Hakoro was great. Everything else seems really good. So, before I head out, though, I just want to hop back over to momsbasementgames.tcgplayerpro.com and remind you guys to check them out. They have the best cards, prices, and should have most of the singles that you would be looking for. If you're watching on YouTube, once again, thank you so much for watching this whole video. Make sure to check down in that description box below for all the links I'm going to talk about. But also tune in sometime for some live action on Twitch. And all you guys on Twitch, as well as in the YouTube in the future, make sure to give us a like on Facebook and a follow on Twitter. Our Twitter is @MomsBasementMTG. As well as all you guys on Twitch right now, please check out our YouTube where you can find the best Legacy, Standard, Modern, Vintage, Pauper, and Commander content. As well as give @JetpackBlues a follow on Twitter for creating the deck. And I would appreciate it if you gave me a follow on Twitter @RichardTMTG so we can continue talking more and talk more about Magic, League of Legends, or whatever you want. So with that being said, I believe that is all that I have for you guys today. And I will be bidding you adieu. Have a great night, everyone.